Commissioners will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining proposed amendments to the existing high impact permit HIP 14-000036 and a special use permit SUP 14-000028. Would you call the roll, Kim?
Commissioner Towns.
Present.
Commissioner Supla is absent. Commissioner Lambert.
Here.
Administrator Bruner is absent. Attorney Baxter is absent. And County Clerk Kim herself is here. Notice is hereby given that the Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing and determining proposed amendments to existing high impact permit HIP 14-000036 and special use permit SUP 14-000028 submitted by Cortez Pipeline Company, agents Phil Kennedy, Kinder Morgan CO2 Company, and Ecosphere Environmental Services for proposed revisions in the construction plans of the Hovenweed Cow Canyon Pump Station on property owned by Kinder Morgan CO2 Company, LP, 12224 Road BB, Pleasant View. Located in Section 10, Township 38, Range 18, NMPM. The hearing will be held Monday, July 13th at 1:45 p.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County District Courthouse, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office, room 305, District Courthouse, Cortez, Colorado, or accessed online at http://montezumacounty.org, web Department's Planning. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. This file can be inspected in the Planning Department during regular office hours. Dated this 26th day of July 2015. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Cortez Journal on Tuesday, June 30th, 2015.
Thank you, Kim. You guys come on up.
Oh, I thought we had more than that.
Kim, good to see you again.
Thanks for having us. Commissioner, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So, howdy.
Well, we had a change about, huh?
Yes, sir. A little bit.
Okay. What, tell us kind of what prompted the change from your original design and what we originally did in our high impact stuff.
Sure, I can do that. I introduced myself earlier, but I am one of the project managers on the project, and I handle the mechanical aspects, engineering, through third-party resources and other help on the project. But the original request was based on the information we had at hand at the time. We didn't know that we knew what equipment we'd install. We didn't know how big it was going to be. We knew how many, 1,000 horsepower. We didn't know it was going to be 6 feet tall, 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall. Once we finalized all the different vendor information and actually ordered materials, we were able to firm up that height. So prior to, that's why we asked for a 50-foot clearance, if you will, for the permit. Because we didn't know how tall it was going to be. I knew it was somewhere around 40 to 45 feet. We ended up at 44 foot prior to the previous planning and zoning meeting. And we were challenged by Montezuma County to lower the roof height. So I went back, we investigated why it stacked up the way it did. And we ended up being able to shift the building height down quite a bit.
How tall is your building out at Goodman Point, that compressor station? How tall are you?
Off the cuff, I don't
know.
No, I'm on the...
Do you know Jamie?
I don't. We were just talking about that before this.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But when we presented to planning and zoning, was that 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
We were able to lower the roof from scratching on paper, if you will, to 36 foot 10 and 8. Once final engineering design with the building manufacturer was cleaned up, we were able to drop it to 36 foot 9.5 inch. So I guess we're here hoping that that's close enough to your threshold.
When we did the original permit, they thought it was going to be a 23-foot building. Is that what I read in here?
That is in that building or another building?
I think
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So your equipment changes, or the stuff that's going to be housed by this building changed enough from your other
Yeah, so
compressor stations that it's,
we've never installed this type of equipment inside a building in the past.
oh really, so this totally different?
It's
totally
different from the gathering field, yes, sir. So we have 2 horizontal pumps in West Texas, near Snyder, Texas, but they're out in the elements. They're not enclosed in the building.
Mhm.
Those are 500 horsepower units apiece, so we kind of just had to develop a little fudge factor, if you will, to estimate how high a roof would have to be on a building to encase something like this. We ended up at the 23 foot, just because we just really didn't have a whole lot of information at hand from the get-go. So it was a new design,
Okay.
to be honest.
So let's see, that's the location there of the station.
Yes, sir. With the yellow box there.
I can't make out those property owners around it. Who has lands next to that? I can't read the names on that map.
You got Tom Hayden there to the west. He's got a
Okay.
home.
He's a
To the
close.
north are the Daves, Travis, or actually Destry, I believe.
Yeah.
Destry Daves. There to the east is that Empire Switch Station, which
Gotcha.
I'm sure you're aware of.
Right there on the corner.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And everything actually within that tract, it's about a whole section is ours, is Kinder Morgan's.
Okay. Have any of the neighbors around that expressed any concern about the height being different than originally?
Tom Hayden had originally, but he seemed to be satisfied with where we'd gotten it
It
down
should
to
be.
this 36
Okay.
feet.
So they've all been apprised of that though, right? Pretty
Yes,
much.
sir.
Yes.
Well, I know you gotta have room in there to put stuff in, take stuff out, things wear out, you have to do maintenance and stuff, you have to have equipment to deal with that, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that was part of the lowering, was allowing lifting over our shorter equipment in the facility instead of lifting over some of our taller equipment. So
Mhm.
we are making some arrangements that we might not normally to lower the roof.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're gonna extend the building, you're gonna add 25 feet linear feet to the
Yes, sir.
length of it from a.
Mostly for the driveway access for a flatbed truck to get in there to haul off a motor or pump. And also the skids on those pumps were a little wider than we anticipated, so the whole building kind of cascaded out.
Would-
Just a little wider than it was, or longer than it was, excuse me.
Are you going just on one end, or are you going to expand?
It should be on the west end only, is where it shifted out. And it's dead center of that facility in the north to south. I've got a plot drawing from it.
It really doesn't get any closer to Hayden than.
The facility site, no sir, it doesn't, but the building shifted mildly closer to him and then to the east a bit as well. But the fence of that facility is at about, I think it's right at 1,000 foot, the corner of that fence from his house. And that was our intention earlier on in planning and zoning to be approved in the past.
Leanne, any comments from planning?
No, I think that first May meeting was pretty contentious, and there were some concerns, but they went back and mitigated it, I think, as best as possible. So when they came back, it was unanimously approved by the commissioners that were there. There was one response that we received from CDOT that just was asking that they stay using CC as their access.
And then that's what you'll do, you'll stay with CC as your access to that property.
Correct.
Right. Public, I guess.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll now take this portion of the public hearing and open it to the public. Anybody wishing to speak pro or con for this adjustment to our special use permit and high impact permit, please come to the microphone, state your name and your address, and give us your statements, please. Five, four, three, two, one. We'll close this portion of the public hearing. James, you have
I don't
any?
have any other comments. My only concern was Mr. Hayden.
That's the neighbor.
Because he's the closest. In fact, the only one that would actually be affected view-wise.
Yeah, he was the most concerned, but like Andy said, he seemed content at the end of last meeting. Would you share as well?
The planning and zoning, yeah.
was
Sorry.
much happier.
Yeah, bring
There
it
was a
up.
lot of concern, I think, because,
Yeah.
you know, just setting that precedent to where that could be a chain of events, I think was very,
That's good. That's why planning and zoning has those meetings, and you guys hash those things out there, and hopefully come here with some consensus about it. It sounds like our planning and zoning board was in complete agreement with. They all voted aye. So okay.
they did make that contingency, I think that you see in there.
Which
That-
one?
The 36-foot 10 knee,
Yeah, just keeping that height,
and we're below
Mhm.
yeah, so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll move that the amendments to high impact permit number 14-000036 and special use permit number 14-000028 be approved.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the amendments to the special use permit and high impact permit for Kinder Morgan and Cortez Pipeline. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You want us to, you have an original or is that?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Do it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Do all three of us have to sign that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here, James, this is the one for,
Oh,
yeah, she gave us this one for the original.
okay.
That was for you to keep.
Do you want to ask him about that gas thing?
Oh, Jamie. Is Jamie gone? We have a minute or two? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie. Miss Pock was at her residence. What night was that, Mrs. Pock?
It was the morning of last Thursday.
Last
I think
Thursday.
it was 9.
She had an odor of gas. She could hear a whooshing and spraying sound and a noise and smelled some, what she described as skunk-like odors coming from, she didn't know where, but she tried calling Kinder Morgan and called their emergency line, and she didn't get a very good response. She didn't feel. Do you know what that was about?
I'm not certain about the response. I was actually on vacation last week. However, I'm aware of the situation. Mrs. Pott called Barry Swift, and he's our general manager. And Barry was not in his office. However, the message was relayed to our operations supervisor, Levi Hill. And the only phone number that we had, Ms. Pott left a message, however, she didn't leave the phone number. So we called the number back that was on the caller ID. I think that was a house number that we called.
Yes.
And we weren't able to get in touch with her. And I think that's when you likely called the emergency response line that
Yeah.
went to our control center.
Yes, I called emergency immediately after
Yes, ma'am.
getting Barry's voicemail.
And so the control center passed the phone number on to Levi, and I think Levi was able to get in touch with you.
You know, 2 people left messages, neither of which spoke distinctly enough that I could pick up their names.
Okay. Levi Hills, he's our operations supervisor. He's the gentleman that returned the phone call. And the situation that you were calling about, all of our flow lines are pressurized at this time, and they're pressurized with compressed air. And so the process that they were going through is purging that compressed air out to the inlet manifold at the facility with CO2. So when the facility is turned on the 21st, you have CO2 that's flowing through the process, not compressed air. And so that was the gas that was being released into the atmosphere was air at the time.
Just
So
air from within the pipeline as you purged it for the CO2?
That's exactly right.
Stale air, probably.
But it's stale. It still does have a smell.
And it caused me to have breathing problems. I definitely felt it in my chest.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's interesting that the compressed air would do that.
I am too.
Yes, ma'am.
I've never encountered stale air smelling quite so bad and being so difficult to breathe.
I don't have a response to that.
But
What was happening is we were purging the compressed air out of flow lines with CO2.
So it was stale air, smelled, probably had a bit of an odor to it.
I'm
and-
sure it did.
yeah.
I didn't smell it.
More
but-
than a bit of an odor.
Okay.
You know what, Jay?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe you.
Excuse me?
There was more than stale air.
What do you?
Why would I lie to you about it? Okay.
That there was more than stale air in the getting. I mean, there's more than stale air.
Well, that's what was in the flow line, was compressed air.
Okay,
And that's what was being purged.
Whatever. If you had breathed it, I think you'd agree with me. I mean, it was.
I'm not saying that it didn't smell. The fact that you're questioning whether or not I'm being honest with you, I'm sorry you feel that way. So, anyway.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Welcome.